So, to do with what you were saying, if you want to attach another speaker, where it says link, and we'll just link this one in here to our other speaker. And the beauty of this is
voila, speaker right behind you.
The beauty of this is it'll actually split the left and right, even that we're only going in to one. So it feels like
Main in, and then power on.
yes.
And we should, we see signal. Now you got stereo.
Okay, and then can you remind me what that cord type is called again?
XLR.
XLR.
So are they both playing?
Yeah.
It's like when you do it a few times, it does start to make sense. So you see, we've plugged into this one. This is our main, this is like we're plugged into the mixer, because this is where we plug the music in. Then when we're adding a speaker, we're not going into the mixer, we're just going into we're just attaching a speaker. So this is the controls, this is where the music attaches.
And when
So,
you mentioned the mixer, that's a separate thing that we also have that we'll show you how to use after, but just that we also have onboard mixing should we need it.
and then, so you see, really simple for when we want just like music in a room. Way better than a Bluetooth speaker because they have depth.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a Bluetooth speaker, but so if you want to run it off your phone, also same thing to run it off your computer, which we'll kind of get to.
Same cable.
But kind of the two things we use here for music, we either use a cell phone or a laptop.
Yep.
So you don't have to add the other speaker, then you're just not in stereo. So like a small setup, a lot of times we'll use like one of these for happy hour, and we just set a phone on the top of it, and voila!
This is another kind of conventional thing that we'll be doing a fair bit of. You just patch this in. This is a standard SM58 microphone. They're pretty durable. You can drop them 1,000 times on stage and they'll still last. As you can see, we've already dropped this one.
For the mic drops that we like to do.
Exactly. So again, just make sure the volume's down as you patch it in because you don't want to cause anyone any ear damage. Then by now, you bring it up to your 12 o'clock and you have sexy radio announcer voice.
And can you remind me what's that term called when you turn it all the way down? It's called starting flat?
No, flat is straight up and down, and you see we keep the master at flat.
So you keep the master at flat, which is straight up and down 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the microphone, you can, depending on how loud you want your mic, whether you want to, you want to do a voiceover with a yoga sort of situation, which we've done before, or our guided meditations. Brad has fantastic radio voice, where we just played Sigur Rós underneath, and he shared, and we all meditated, and that was beautiful.
And I think just the other thing of note, if you noticed, before Benjamin plugged it in, it was, so there's no switch on these. So you do have it's like, so
Otherwise it-
have your volume completely off, plug it in, and then exactly, slowly come up.
And I want to introduce you to what feedback is. If you put a microphone in front of a speaker, sometimes you'll get that sound. That's what that is. So usually if you are going to be speaking over a microphone, you don't want to be in front of a speaker. I worked at hotels for years and you get like, people walking up with wireless microphones in front of the speaker, and it's just like, there's not much you can do about that. Yes.
Could you also explain the concept of when you cover it, you're making the room smaller, the dynamic?
Yeah.
feedback?
Sometimes people will go to cover the microphone, and then actually what it does is it can cause feedback.
Or,
as well.
or you'll see they'll walk around with it, and they walk around with it in their hand, or like It's just be cognizant. If the microphone's on, these are speaking together.
Yeah, you hear all the little taps or all your phone going off. But also, it's a mic, so you just want to project like right into it while you're speaking. Some people, I'm really shy. I don't do a lot of microphone stuff, so yeah, you want to be able to give her into the mic. But come to a karaoke night and you will see how masterful our participants are with this sort of setup.
Power.
So let's turn it all off.
And then do you turn the power bar off too?
Yeah.
Yes, because we're gonna pull these out.
Yeah.
So in a big setup, you actually would turn it off and wait a minute. All this stuff does hold charge for like a little bit. It's possible to get a small shock. Like it is how speakers work. There is electricity that flows through here, which hits a magnet. But having said that, can some people help and just pull out the plugs and wrap them up? Because that's so. When we tear stuff down, it's as simple as unplug it, and you just kind of like carefully set it all on the ground, and then we just wrap it up.
Yeah. 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 Do you want to feel what it feels like to plug in your microphone and unplug it?
And Jimmy, can you do an example for the video of how to roll up a cord? Just because I missed taking a video of it.
Yeah, you got it.
I need one more.
One more cord.
One more cord, yes.
Thank you. Yeah. Do you want to practice wrapping that one? I'll show you. Okay.
Okay, it would start with when you're pulling the cord off the floor, it's just pulling all the kinks out of it, and it's just so much easier if you kind of just run it through your hands. Myself, I like to hold my hand like this, and then hold the other part of the cord like this, and you can see as I do that, I'm already creating a circle. And then, I think if anything, it's all about being gentle. And then you just slowly keep the circle going.
We have special cases for the microphones. They just go into these cases right here.
And then there's a little tie in the end that you're good to go.
Awesome.
And the speaker, it just pops right off like this. Usually you want to make sure it's pretty low when you try to take it off, because otherwise it could be very dangerous if you're reaching high, or have somebody help you. But gravity should be your friend here, but you could also ask somebody to kind of put a foot on the corner so that as you lift, you're not accidentally tilting, because that's where, dangerous stuff can
And like all of these things, be careful of your hands.
Yeah, and then here as well.
Because they are pretty heavy duty, so again, it's like, take your time, make sure your hands nice job.
You're high. It's threaded, so plug it in and then you screw it shut and it'll stay locked in.
And you'll kind of see it on your sheet here. Screw specific power adapter into the back of the sound cord.
And this
So
is a
it's
full
a bit-
soundboard.
It's a bit of an odd setup, but
But as you see, it's got the same kind of plugins that we were just dealing with. It has that mini one. It doesn't have Bluetooth, but it does have the XLR patches. And it is a mixer, just like the back of here is a mixer as well. It's got 3 potentials for you to patch in microphones or music equipment like guitars or bass, or as we just saw, an iPhone or a laptop could go in here. And just like that on the mixer as well, same thing. Laptop or iPhone could go in here. You could have 4 microphones. You could have bass, guitar, piano, Yeah, as you wish.
Especially something like the mixing board, don't plug it into the walls. It's just, the more fragile electronics, the more susceptible they are to a surge. And then let's have somebody plug in the speakers.
Sure. Yeah. Does anyone want to do that?
Hannah, want to try it out?
And if you want to throw one up on the, it's just easier to deal with.
Okay, so what am I doing? Just plug in that to the back of the speaker if you wish.
And plug it the other way, just in case.
Are we allowed to use extension cords for those power cables?
Yeah, often we do, just once we've lifted the speaker up high enough, the cable's not long enough. So.
Our worry is never the extension cords, it's actually the main power. So it's like, as long as the extension cords then go into, as long as there's like a power bar in between your electronics, it wouldn't usually matter, but there's amplifiers in both of these.
And so do I want to plug this into here as well?
Yes.
Sure. And then plug these two together?
Yeah.
No,
Not yet. Oh,
Okay.
That's,
no. So for this setup, we'll do it a little differently. So you have your speakers powered, you have this powered. What's the next thing?
Turn it on?
No.
Connect them.
So
Put it up there.
So, yeah, you can put one up there.
yeah. Just grab this side.
Do you need an XLR cable to go from there to there?
Yes, so if you think of an amp needs a load, and a load is a speaker. So if you turn on amps without a load, it's like they're amplifying, but they have nowhere to go with the load. For transistors, it's fine. There's nothing really going to happen, but kind of best kind of equipment practice is before you turn it on, you make sure you have your speakers attached.
Wow.
So,
I have a question.
Yeah.
What is this machine called?
Oh, mixer.
Mixer.
so
Yeah.
for the XLR, you'll see in green here, main outs. Then you'll see in here, main in. So, I know it seems straightforward, but if you don't point it out, you don't know what you're looking for. So if you want to connect the speakers, and so there is a left and a right, because this is stereo.
Okay, so I'm connecting this to the speaker then.
Yes.
Exactly. And it's good to start with the board because that shows you which end of the cable goes in which.
And
one will
how do
say
I know?
one will say left or right. Because this, if you try to patch it into there, it won't.
Oh, it's not
fit.
going to work. Okay.
Yeah.
So does it matter what side?
No. And you see, that's why it's good to try. I'll give this to somebody else because it's just when you start to get used to it, I think with all this stuff at first, it feels like, well, if I do it wrong, I'll break it. Actually, no, because that's why the power's off.
And this time we're not linking the speakers. This time we're running, from the mixer one cable to each speaker.
So, and exactly, if we're not linking the speakers, we just have more control. So I can actually then mix the two speakers. If they're linked, they might still be stereo, but I don't have control over both.
Mm-hmm. And can either one be the left or the right speaker?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So depending on the room layout, if you want to, you could be like, okay, left is here, right is here. But yeah, it's entirely up to how you patch it.
Okay.
And then you might not remember this, but it's okay because once this is plugged in, how you get into using the board is you fuck with it. So you'll see on here pan. So that's how you can pan from left and right. So for each channel, you can pan your speakers, which is why we connect each of them separately.
Yeah, and we'll show you how to do that. Mic or keyboard? Or left?
Whatever.
Okay. start with a microphone. And yeah, does anyone want to do a microphone patch in to the board? It's pretty simple. Okay. So yeah, microphone comes out of the bag. And yeah, same thing that you just did. Just figure out which end fits into which. And the mic can go into any of these 4 channels, but usually the first 2 are good ones for the mic.
So, we have something to test the sound with. We have our speakers. I feel we can turn everything on. So I start with the power bar. Turn on each speaker. So one thing before we start, all the levels on 0. And then again, you can keep the main at flat.
And power on.
And you'll kind of see, it's like when you start a mixing board, everything's straight up and down. Flat is like a flat sound. So it's like, if I'm gonna change the sound, I start with like a bass line.
And now we can unmute channel 1, which is the very first channel that Yumi is on. We can bring up the volume a little bit.
Sing us a song, Yumi.
Yeah.
Go Dixon!
Yeah. So you can also see why we have the main flat, because it's like you don't want to be moving to, and it's like kind of straight up and down is your safe level. Your main should never really be cranked, even that it goes against my whole rock and roll thing that everything's on 11. But as you see, then you kind of adjust it. You'll see all these channels have a mute. So once you're adjusted,
Hello?
yeah,
Hello?
then we'll put the mute on, because this is the switch. It also gives the person on the soundboard ultimate control.
I like that.
My control right there.
It's exactly what we need in
A
recovery
Yumi
is
mute
ultimate
button?
control.
Yeah, Yumi mute.
Yumi mute.
But also, if you speak for a few minutes, I'll just practice saying something.
Hello. Hi.
And so I'm trying to pan her voice from left to right. I don't know if you can hear that well. Yeah, I'm just passing her voice from one speaker to the next. It's not a big thing that you'll need to use often, but
Is it usually just evened out?
yeah, it's right in the middle. So yeah,
What color is the pan
Uh,
button on there?
oh, pan is gray. Now Jimmy's adding some reverb. As you can hear, there's this. Jimmy try. So it's got some onboard effects which we play with sometimes during karaoke. If you want to, usually a little bit of reverb is fun. We kind of add that ambiance.
My point is, it's fun. Music, I don't need a mixing board. Music and one mic, I don't need a mixing board. But if I'm doing music, instruments, microphones,
You can get something out of here. This is just a little kind of kid's keyboard. And patch it in. Right here at the top, it says line in. There's only the one place that you can patch in a 1/8 inch or a stereo mini. And that's on channel 9 and 10. So if you want. But yeah, that's, it's the same thing as a laptop. So we'll do a laptop next. I just wanted to show you how easy you can kind of get, gear patched in. We've got a microphone, and the most common thing that we're doing is a laptop. The laptop has a few stages to it. One is you need the password to get on the laptop. 2 is, let's say if we're using a YouTube account, we need the password for the YouTube. Actually, there's a third tier to that. We also require the Wi-Fi information, and sometimes monthly that will change the password for the Wi-Fi. So there's kind of three hurdles.
And to add to that, it's like, because we can't use staff Wi-Fi, so our staff Wi-Fi is has all kinds of filters on it that it's like they don't have any idea what we're doing, and it's way too cool for BCH. So it's all the stuff we're trying to do is blocked. So we use Health Guest, And like you say, for some reason they changed the password because, you know, everyone's trying to use our free internet here at Robert Lilly League. So they changed the password, so it's like super annoying. But so yeah, things to know when you're heading up. You need the health guest password. There's one channel we use for music, that's 9 and 10, it's a stereo channel. It's like traditionally most of these channels are mono, it's just how you do microphones. There's 2 stereo channels, this is the only one that has a line-in mini. So we kind of save 910 for music because we have plugs that we can plug instruments. You know, we plug the piano in here, we plug guitars in here. Also, a fine product. It's not a Yorkville, but you know. And participants come in not thinking there's cables on the floor. If you come in and the cables are that way and you trip on this,
that can come
smash.
tumbling down. Yeah.
And then we don't care about the speaker. We just don't want you hit in the head with it. You know, they're light, but you know.
I think we've all been hit, like,
well, yeah.
at one point from a speaker or a light stand or something. Just movie days, but yeah. We've got music at the same time also. I can bring that up. Yeah, so it's the exact same thing we showed earlier with a phone and a microphone. The mixer is so you can have a bunch of instruments or sound devices coming through at the same time. And you adjust their levels to kind of meet, you know, kind of good frequency for the room. So that one thing isn't overpowering the other, so you can all still kind of hear each other when we're jamming.
Thought you were gonna lay a beat down.
Yeah.
Also possible.
Yeah, yeah.